there are all these conventional mainstream investors, and they've been watching Bitcoin. And when Bitcoin was going up too fast, when it was running parabolic, they're afraid to buy in. But right now, sitting in a plateau where they're a lot more likely to buy it, by the way, if the return looks similar to the NASDAQ, and if the return was 5x the NASDAQ. We got some really great news this week. Miller came out and he announced that half of his personal net worth, half of his personal portfolio is invested in Bitcoin. And he said the other half is like an Amazon. He's held Amazon for 25 years or whatever. And, Amazon is famously volatile. It went through lots and lots of 80% downs and a 90% drawdown. And he's just been sitting forever. He's like a classic hodler. And Amazon's big tech. In essence, what he said was, I own digital gold and I own a big tech retailer, and that's half and half. Now, he had a year ago, he said, I have some, but he never said 50%. Yeah. Now you've got all the other mainstream investors that have some gold exposure, the Paul Tudor Jones and the Stanley Druckenmillers and the Ray Dalios and the, fill in the blank. And they're all starting to wake up to this. And when they see Bill Miller, who's runs multiple billions of dollars and is a billionaire in his own right, saying this is the only thing I can find that can go up by a factor of 10 to 50, that also is a store of value asset, right? Then they start to pay attention. Now, if Bitcoin was trading at an all-time high and it was like on fire, they'd be afraid. And so I don't think we're in a bear market. I think Bitcoin it's moving through this phase where it moved from 4,000 to 40,000 with volatility, and it's going to move from 4,000 to 500,000. I mean, the next plateau is the gold plateau, right? To basically digital gold replaces gold and flips gold, and that's like a $500,000 number, I think. And then after that, it's really just a property index or a monetary index, which should be 10x that. So, what I see is a move from where we are to 500,000 over 3, 4, 5 years, and then a move over the following 3 to 5 years. It could take 10 years, but a move in the next epic from the 500,000 to $5 million range, because ultimately people say, what is Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is the apex property of the human race. It's the only property you can truly own. So the question is, who wants it? Well, everybody in the world with weaker property. So what is weaker property? Well, how about like a second house in Africa? Like how about land in the middle of Africa or Asia or South America? How about a building? And fill in the blank. The problem with investing in a currency derivative is the currencies are collapsing, right? And they're collapsing at 10, 15% a year in the Western world, but they're collapsing at 40%, 50, 60% a year in the developing world. So bonds, they're weak property. Real estate is weak property because you've got a politician that can they're going to tax it and they can take it away from you, and you can't move it if you need to leave, and you can only rent it to people in the country. So, and then equities are weak property because the CEO controls that equity. It's a security. And if you own securities, the bank controls it. Like, let's say you own a security, you live in Zimbabwe. Well, the government of Zimbabwe can take it away from you. Try buying it at JP Morgan, they can take it away from you. The CEO can print more equity and they can take it away from you. A random government, in Australia can put a fine on Google and they can take it away from you. A union can unionize, right? So if you're holding securities, you've got lots of risk. If you're holding real estate, you've got lots of risk. If you're holding gold, well, the bankers can print more gold paper and the gold miners can mine more gold, and try to move through an airport with $10 million of gold, or try to move through an airport with $10,000 of gold. try to move through an airport with $1,000 of gold. I tried to move through an airport with a pen knife that Amazon sold me, and it was labeled as TSA friendly. I couldn't get a knife that's like a quarter-inch or half-inch blade through a metal detector in an airport. So your property is all weak, all of it. And so how much is weak? Hundreds of trillions of dollars of weak property. Because this is going to be a decade of education, right? I mean, because a lot of people don't understand digital property yet, and they don't understand, and that's the only reason they don't want it. If you were to go to, most people in the world, and you say, go to Lebanon or go to Turkey, and you say, well, the Turkish lira is crashing, the Lebanese pound is crashing. What do you want? Well, there's a small group of people that will say, I'm going to stick with the local currency because I'm a patriot and because my political leader told me to invest everything in that. There's a large group of people that would say, I think I want to switch that to digital dollars. Like they know they want dollars. They know they want a dollar rather than, local Lebanese pound. I mean, there's a larger group. I mean, maybe 20% are patriots, 50, 60, 70% are going to take the currency. And then the last 10, 20, 30%, they're going to take the Bitcoin because they know that Bitcoin is even stronger than the currency. But that's the dynamic that's spreading right now, except every single day, people are getting smarter. Information is spreading, right? You can't put the genie back in the bottle. And so when you look at, what is my thesis for Bitcoin over the long term? My thesis is technology will advance. Everybody's smartphones are going to get more powerful. We're going to get to a world where eventually, Google and Facebook and Apple, they're going to also support this digital property and digital currency. That's right, to billions of people. Twitter's going to spread. YouTube is going to spread. Knowledge is going to spread. And I suppose even 20 years from now, there will probably be some kind of ignorant, patriots that are ideologues that'll say, I reject all new things and I'm going to just do whatever I'm told. They're going to lose their money, right? Like the point is they're going to lose their money. The money is going to move to the wise. And so the smarter part of the population is going to get richer. The wealth is going to transfer, and that's going to create a strong dynamic. So, the Bitcoin path is clear. We're not in the concept of bear market only makes sense if you have a short enough time horizon. Like if you're a trader and your time horizon is 12 weeks, you can have a bear market. But if you have a 10-year time horizon, then you really have to ask yourself, what is the technology trend and what is the cultural trend?